Poisonrana.
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, any podcast app you found us in, that's where you found us, or
youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, postmarks. Hello, YouTube room.
hello NXT friends.
Friends.
Yes, we are back. Better than ever.
We are indeed, yeah.
That's right.
We've come back from Europe, and we're here to talk all about NXT, which has been on quite a run since we've been away.
Yeah, shout out to B Detroit and John Cena Evil for filling in the past few weeks and did a hell of a job, a bang-up job, gentlemen. And check them out on What Up Doe over on our Poisonrana feed. If you haven't subscribed to our own feed, yes, Poisonrana is the name of the game. Go hit that follow on YouTube over on our channel and on in your podcast app, because we have tons of podcasts. Davey and I, we just did a show on Sunday chatting all about our whole trip and kind of everything that was going on, including All In, All Out, and just catching up to speed on everything wrestling. And go listen to that if you haven't already.
Yeah. We had a whole catch-up about almost a month's worth of stuff to talk about. Quite a lot happened since we were away. But it feels like, we're back. Feels like everything is like a new season.
Yeah.
Like AEW feels like it's kind of hit the reset button. Tonight, NXT kind of hit the reset button with some things as well. And you know what? I caught a bit of Raw last night as well. I've been kind of enjoying the Intercontinental title picture that's been going on over there, and I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about that on Sunday as well.
I mean, and we're recording this on Tuesday, September the 12th. One of the biggest things in WWE history has ever happened. Nia Jax is back.
Nia Jax is back. Yes.
Oh, and that TKO thing. But yeah, who cares about that?
Yeah. So yeah, TKO. Today is the first day. This was the first WWE show with like Vince not officially in charge anymore.
Right.
Ari Emanuel is the big boss. Triple H isn't on the board anymore, but still head of creative.
Yeah,
Nick Khan is WWE chairman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a new era. It's a new day.
Yeah. Vince is gone? Come on.
No, he ain't gone. Hell. No, he ain't gone.
Did you see this,
not as
man?
much power anymore.
Yeah, not as much gray hair either.
He can't pull that shit he did in December anymore.
I don't know. Dude's like, oh, my back. And then calling in, yo, Trips, yo, Paul, bring Nia in.
Yeah.
It's probably what's happening. Did you see, they did the whole thing downtown at TKO. They got the new logo that just looks like an old Randy Orton shirt.
Terrible.
RKO.
It was like word art.
Yeah, it was really underwhelming. So UFC and WWE put together, and it's a whole new world. But I just couldn't get over the clip of him. He was doing Vince McMahon. He's got to be like 80 years old. Something like that.
Yeah.
He was like getting the crowd riled up. He was doing the Hogan ear. He's got more Just for Men dye in his hair than I've ever. This guy is 80. Come on,
like Rudy Giuliani, isn't he?
He looks
like,
he's gonna start leaking.
Leaking.
He looks like he's about to tie up an old woman to the train tracks. This is what I thought he was gonna do.
He looks very, very strange.
It's so weird.
It's the mustache still.
If he puts on a Zorro mask, he could fit the part.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so. I was dying laughing at watching the clip of him. I'm like, dude, why do you look like that? But I don't think he's done. He's not done with WWE. Just a whole new era with Dana White and involved as well with the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we get UFC WWE super weekends in big cities. I'm sure that's something to come in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even before that. You could hit your UFC on a Saturday and go to your Mania on a Sunday kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like
Could
that.
happen, yeah, absolutely.
There's I don't think it necessarily affects the, you know, week to week operations of Raw and SmackDown right now.
So it will be interesting to see though, because from what I've been reading is like Triple H essentially answers to Nick Khan
Right
now, and Triple H is in head of creative. Now, if we go back to, you know, last year when Vince left for a time, Nick Khan was very kind of pro like leaving Triple H to kind of do his thing.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see going forward what's happening. I do think WWE have had a pretty good year in general. Like compared to like previous years, I think we've been a lot more positive on the product across all three brands.
I think a lot of people are. A lot of wrestling fans are back watching WWE. Also, like the retro thing. I don't know. Something about wrestling is definitely gotten popular, and not just WWE. Obviously, AEW to a smaller scale, but WWE is definitely feels more popular. A lot more people that we know talk about it, even if they're casual viewers. We know we throw on watch parties and stuff the past year. It kind of got popular. WWE definitely like picked up, and they're making more money than ever, really. So it is pretty crazy. And if you're someone who's into the business stuff, I'm sure you can listen to Pollock and Thurston and go diving into on all those other shows. But it as like someone who's like I don't really watch UFC. I know my brothers are super into it, and there is still a mixed crowd, and I think they're a little too like they're wishful thinking of thinking UFC fans and WWE fans are the same breed, because I don't necessarily think that's true.
I feel you get more WWE fans who like UFC than UFC fans who like WWE, if that makes any sense.
Because us WWE fans, we'd tune into some big fights and some big name fights, especially if former wrestlers get thrown in there. But UFC fans are less likely to jump in on that fake shit, as they always call it, right? So it's, you know, just, and that's the other F word that I hear when I watch UFC. So there is still a disconnect when it comes to certain fans, because it is different. But I bet you they're gonna try more than ever to try to do this. There was also, was this Nick Khan? Someone from UFC side said like, hey, what better if you're done in UFC, you could try out in WWE.
I mean, we've seen that happen anyway over the years, and I think it is like people. I think Brock was one of the people that said, I just don't really like getting punched in the face, which is fair enough.
Yeah. Then he fought Braun Strowman and got kicked in the face.
And he clearly didn't like it, did he? But yeah, I think we could possibly see more of that. I don't necessarily think we're going to have big, you know, like crossover, like UFC fighter versus WWE.
No.
But I think we're going to see a lot more of, you know, a UFC fighter in the crowd. Oh, look who it is. It's such and such and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely that door open to transition into pro wrestling.
They could finally do Brock Cormier.
Yeah.
Just the bow on that one. I could see like them doing like McGregor. Obviously, he's too like insane, and you wouldn't be able to trust him.
McGregor, Matt Riddle. Then there you go.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, the dream match. Yeah, Riddle can just go back to the UFC. Pretty sure he's undefeated. But there is like that little like thing in the back of my head. I'm like, what if certain wrestlers did what we're allowed? Like, you know, we watch NXT, the Creed brothers, specifically Julius, Jasper Creed, Casper, whatever. He's already tweeted at Dana White, saying like, yo, call me. I'll be the first one to jump over. And he was the first one that came to mind because we watch him and he's throwing guys around. But
yeah, I mean, I could see him do that.
Who else in like wrestling would you like if they gave them, hey, they're gonna take a few months off of WWE and give them a camp and they're gonna fight, and like what CM Punk did, and it clearly made some pay-per-view buys, right? Who spars?
Well, I think your like amateur wrestlers, your Damon Kemps, your Reed brothers.
But they're not necessarily big like WWE household names
not yet.
At the moment.
Not yet. But you know, a year from now or whatever, who knows? I don't really see any main role. I mean, Lashley's fought for Bellator a bunch, hasn't he? He's pushing it age-wise now, but so I don't know if that would be something. There is always that thing, and there was that worry with when Brock went back for UFC 200 was, well, if this guy loses, does that take some of that luster away?
Yeah.
Obviously, wrestling is a predetermined sport, and you can build characters how you want to build them, and if it's
that really messes up
then
UFC.
I mean, we just saw Adesanya losing in a big upset, and if that's your guy that you're building as a main eventer in WWE and then just gets smoked like that, it can take some of that luster away. But I mean, Ronda Rousey is about comeback, isn't she?
Yeah, you want to see her get her head kicked in again. Definitely going to happen. Maybe Ken Shamrock comes back. That's a plus.
Just probably do the old lads. Yeah.
Yeah. Let them shoot fight.
Yeah.
Put them in the cage. Chuck Liddell.
Well, you did mention CM Punk, and we normally save.
Whoa, wait a second. We had a deal. We were going to have a CM Punk job.
I know. Well, we normally save Punk Watch for Sundays.
Punk Watch.
But did you see Nick Khan's comment?
Oh, hey, come on back, Phil.
Yeah.
There's a spot for you.
So he's asked about the possibility of bringing CM Punk back to WWE, and he says, listen, we only have respect for Phil, do you? We appreciate his run here. We appreciate what he did and tried to do with the UFC. Not many people can actually get in there and do what he did. So when we have respect for Phil, we wish him nothing but the best. So CM Punk to UFC confirmed.
Wow. One more fight.
One more fight.
Mickey Gall rematch.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Wow. Maybe that is a step in the first direction of going back to New York. I don't know. I could see, we talked a bit about it on our Poisonrana show this week, and it's just so bizarre. But I never say never in the world of pro wrestling. Hey, AJ Lee's left Women of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We get a power couple coming into WWE. Happen.
It could do.
I don't know. I feel like if Punk tried to do some, if Punk tried to scare Triple H to fear for his life, I think Triple H, I know he's retired, but he's a bit bigger. I feel like he might be able to.
That heart, though.
that heart, yeah.
Yeah.
True. So here, listen to us talk about TKO and professionals. So interesting to see where it kind of goes with the whole world, because it does have a lot of other people talking. It's in the news because, like, hey, UFC and WWE, and all of your friends or family members who know you love wrestling are gonna either have already asked you or will ask you this week. So what are they gonna do with the real stuff and the fake stuff, and like what are they? I can already see that happening quite a lot. So
people still can't get their head around wrestling.
They still don't understand
anyway.
now. So
it's
it's gonna be even worse.
We do have the chat room going right now, and we've got some suggestions for UFC WWE crossovers. RYN likes the idea of Amanda Nunes versus Chelsea Green.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
Maybe get her in that cursed tag title division.
Can she keep the cast on her arm?
Leone is suggesting Roman Reigns versus John Jones.
Maybe Riddle versus
Dean says, I could see Shevchenko crossing over with good booking.
Okay.
And Jake says, Gable Steveson, oh, wait. Although he was at some... We talked a bit about him on Sunday. He was on some NXT house shows over the weekend. So who knows what's going on with him?
Yeah. I can't think of any. I'm sure we'll get more like fighters coming over and crossing over into WWE. I think of the ones who are talkers. Obviously, McGregor being the biggest shit talker in the game. He's too insane, so it just wouldn't work. But I'm trying to think of other ones, but not really any that come to mind. I am a bit out of full UFC as of late. Yeah, it is. Still
I think quite a few are quite problematic as well. I mean, especially from this past UFC.
That's what I mean.
Multiple people dropping
exactly.
And stuff.
Yeah. It's terrible.
And I imagine WWE will still keep all its sponsors that they currently have. And they're certainly not the PG company they were a few years ago when they were like really very kid friendly. But they still tread that line, and I don't think they'd want many problematic people. And I'm sure we'll talk more about him on Sunday, but it will be interesting to see what's happening with Riddle, with all this crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, very crazy.
JFK.
Yeah. Some other news. I also mentioned Nia Jax showed up on Raw. That's pretty shocking and has pissed off so many wrestling fans. So I guess it was a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, is this? Is this just because we want another? Like, they're building up, it feels, that sort of almost heavyweight division in the women's, like Rhea, Raquel, and now Nia.
Right.
Or is this they're wanting to do a female member of the bloodline, and Ava Raine just ain't cutting it in NXT?
Oh God, no, please.
Well, I mean that they're really building up Judgment Day as the new dominant faction, and Survivor Series is only a couple of months away. I could see them potentially doing a mixed War Games.
Wait, isn't the bloodline like solved?
Well, you got Jimmy, you got Jimmy, you got Solo and Roman with Nia Jax.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't say I was particularly thrilled to see Nia Jax back. I'd rather
shit in my hands and clap.
I'd rather shit my hands and clap, and I'd rather maybe like graduate some of these NXT women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about Tiffany Stratton's future based on the end of this show, but a Lyra Valkyria as well springs to mind. Like a Roxanne Perez springs to mind. There's quite a few women down
There's
there.
a big size difference there.
Who are ready. No, I know. They're not really your monsters, but you know, I think you could work with what you've got already.
Sure.
And I can't say Nia Jax has really lit the world on
no,
fire
because
since she tried to do that NFT show in England with the Authors of Pain.
Yeah. They're back too, though, aren't they?
Apparently so, yeah. So
he just signed all the
head scratching signing.
Yeah, because as things change, things stay the same. You know, you and other people will be like, oh, you got to see Raw because there's a great angle with Gunther and Gable. I'm like, oh, cool. Do I got to watch Raw? Is Raw getting good? And then the same show, Nia Jax comes back. So, no, they ain't getting me. They ain't fooling me. But I am hyped for that. Is that like confirmed for the pay-per-view now?
Not yet. By the way the segment went, and I actually loved the whole setup of it, of this celebration and Gunther on the podium and all that, and his short capris with shoes no socks, looking good.
Yes.
But they I got the impression that they're gonna make Gable go through like some hurdles. I could see Gable doing like some sort of gauntlet match or something to get the opportunity. But I think this match is big enough now. I would main event Fastlane with it.
Absolutely. If they make it a 30-minute Iron Man or a 2 out of 3 falls, just sounds
like beautiful. It feels bigger than Seth Nakamura. Although what they're still doing with, you know, Seth's back and everything, you could always have like a cash in with Priest, which would be a good kind of show closing thing.
True,
but I think this has earned that main event status, and that match on Raw last week was fantastic.
So good. Gunther. Sure. Well, NXT was killing it too. Because the man came around. We can quickly give out some quick plugs, some housekeeping here. Again, check out Poisonrana on our free feed. We got tons of shows, including Shot in the Dark with John Cena, covering all the other wrestling that you may or may not watch. He fills you in 15 minutes or less. Also on, we will be back next week for upNXT, obviously back on Tuesdays. But do come hang out with us on Sundays. I know football's back. I know there's lots of things going on. You can always mute that and watch it and listen to us chat about wrestling. We'll be back on Sunday, again, chatting everything going on in the world of wrestling. Some more TKO stuff, I'm sure. But we do have a Patreon, too. We are small DIY creators, and we create our own content. And we're back recording some shows. We got some crazy shows coming up this month over on our Patreon. We're gearing up for what's the Grand Slam? Tickets might not be moving too well for Grand Slam, but you could be moving with us because in honor of a big show in New York, we will be escaping New York with Kurt Russell as we review Escape from New York about 2 weeks from now. We did record another Up Yours pick with Andrew McDonald. This one was one of the weirdest world champ selections we've gotten. But we recorded this show, and it might have turned into a sleeper comedy hit.
I think this was a really fun show. I really suggest you listen to this one. I was scratching my head when Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue was picked. A forbidden door of cartoon characters giving a PSA on drugs from 1990. And I think this turned out to be a really fun show.
It's free to watch on YouTube. It's only like 30 minutes. And yeah, it's a multiverse of cartoons made in 1990. Basically a propaganda piece about, teaching kids not to do drugs. So really, it was great and really funny to look back on. Joe Biden loves it. That's all I'll tease about our review coming out this week over on the Patreon. Shout out family member patron Andrew McDonald for picking it as well. So it turned out to be a pretty fun show. So that's coming out this week. We had a retro NXT review last week covering the January 29th, 2014 edition which is gearing up for Arrival. So we've been reviewing some retro NXTs leading up to that first network special, which is great. The Sami Zayn Cesaro.
Really excited to talk
Hell yeah.
all about that.
And then later this month in the Patreon, because there's a No Mercy that we're gearing up for, we will be looking at No Mercy 1999, featuring the iconic tag ladder match, the Hardys versus ENC.
The tit match.
That's right. So go help us keep the lights on.
You can also support us with super chats, which are now open. And thank you, Jake, who says, so happy you're back. Please don't leave us again. Thank you, but your boys need a break sometime. So I ain't making any promises.
Yeah, and hey, I Cino and B definitely held down the fort.
Absolutely, did a great job.
Yeah,
thank you once again.
Well, now I think it's time that we can dive into the world of NXT.
Absolutely. NXT from September 12th, 2023, live from the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. And it starts off, they're billing this as the biggest NXT on a Tuesday of all time. And they might be right. It was a pretty stacked show. And we kick things off hot with the number one contenders match. Who is going to No Mercy to face Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship? We see Wes Lee taking on Ilia Dragunov. Both these men have kind of been circling the title picture for quite a while. Who will be Melo's opponent at No Mercy? And things start off hot. Wes Lee hits this big German suplex, which just dumps Ilya on his head. And then Wes just using his quickness against Ilya, but finally gets caught with this huge chop from Ilya, just turning him inside out. And this is then followed by a German of his own from Dragunov. And Ilya goes for the hat trick of Germans, but on the third, Wes flips and lands on his feet, and Ilya does his best Kota Ibushi impression, like a shocked look, like the Osprey spot.
How many times have I said I could not imagine that match? Like these two would be doing that the whole time. But yeah, crazy.
Kota from 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And then he comes back with a second, Wes hits a low pay to the outside, followed by a second low pay, goes for a third, but gets caught this time with a big uppercut on the floor. And then Ilya just picks up Wes and delivers a German suplex onto the announce table. Wes Lee then comes back and is delivering these Ilya's delivering these machine gun-like chops after the break, goes for a powerbomb, and Wes counters this into a Rana, just spiking Dragunov on his head. Goes for the pin, but it's only a 2. Now both guys are trading forearms, and Wes starts to actually get the better of Dragunov, who is more of the striker of the two. He's delivering the body shots and a big uppercut, followed by a super kick, pump kick, and a double stomp to the chest. This is where we notice that Wes is actually bleeding from the mouth, as both guys are going pretty hard here. Wes goes for another chop, but Ilya catches him and delivers a big chop of his own. And then they're running the ropes, and Wes catches Dragunov with the Spanish fly. Ilya just delivers this standing lariat, which turns Wes inside out. Wes then sets up for the cardiac kick, but is caught in like a torture rack. But that gets countered into this spike DDT from Wes Lee.
This was crazy. It was like a never-ending. This was some Dirty Dancing type shit here, where they just kept spinning around, and then finally Wes hits. He was sweet.
Dragunov then bails to the outside, and Wes hits this huge tope con hilo over the turnbuckle, causing holy shit chants from the crowd. And then Ilya, and then Dragunov hits the forearm once again, but this time to the back of the head, finally putting Wes away. And even he kind of crucifixes his arms as he's pinning him, like he's Kane from 1997.
Yeah, very similar.
And Ilia Dragunov picks up the win clean, and it's going to No Mercy.
Yeah, great opening match. Definitely starting the show with a bang. I figured this was the match I was most looking forward to tonight, and did not disappoint whatsoever. Say whatever you want about NXT, but at least one match a week is something that you go off being like, wow, that was awesome. And this was definitely that match. There is maybe even possibly a few others later tonight, but wow, this match was incredible. These two going at it. I wanted it to be a basic non-finish, so it would be a triple threat. But really, I just want to see Dragunov take on Melo, but I want to see Wes take on Melo. So I was definitely torn as a fan watching, but Dragunov absolutely murdering with that like elbow thing. That is a finish. Like the dropping the elbow to the face or the back of the head, just evil. And
it looks so much more devastating than the flying headbutt he does. I think.
So I'm happy he uses that as the thing. But this had so much like back and forth, the chemistry. I don't think Dragunov can have a bad match. He's not had a bad match with any. Wes was an incredible partner to do this with. I could watch these guys literally fight forever. So this instantly went, well, that was a good show, and would obviously recommend this match to check out. And NXT is having a lot of these matches that are so awesome, and I know that NXT stink is still there, so a lot of people are missing out on some pretty good action throughout the show.
Honestly, I think NXT for a while now has been the most consistent show across the board, and I'm including AEW in that. I think storytelling has been consistent. We've seen through lines like beginning, middle, and end, and they've brought back the kind of, the bangers on TV as well. This was probably my match of the night. I thought we might be getting some shady business happen and a three-way. I think the singles match is stronger. I thought this was fantastic stuff.
Dragunov doesn't miss. Wes doesn't miss. We'll see if Mello misses at No Mercy, because now we know our main event is confirmed. Mello, Dragunov 2, and this is going to be... I'm excited.
Yeah, I could see them putting the title on Dragunov at this point.
Yeah, sorry, Mello, but
I think that we have a bit of a segment later. I think this is going to be a clean one-on-one, and hopefully, I can see it being Dragunov's time.
Sure, Mello could be going up to the...
Yep, possibly.
Yeah. A great match. And
really good stuff.
It makes us wonder what's going on with Wes, which we might find out.
Yes, so great opening to the show. And what I liked as well is I think Wes has proven himself that he can kind of match with the sort of strong style as well as the high flyer, the flippy guy who can do like spectacular counters and stuff. But I thought he really brought it to Ilja, like matching with the striking and stuff as well.
He's changed. He's stepped up so much in the past year. He had that incredible run with that North American title. Even his gear is upgraded. He's not silly. He's not trying to be like funny anymore. He's way more serious, and I'm loving this way more serious version of him. And hey, Nash Carter ain't doing too bad either over in the other
Impact.
Yeah. So like I'm happy to see the MSK. Nico Satomura's
kids,
that was
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Apologies to anyone in the live feed right now. We are having some internet issues.
We're back.
We are going to continue the show and we'll try and fix as we're going, but just bear with us. Thank you.
We'll call Fido.
From last week with the vicious attack on Von Wagner from Bron Breakker. Did you happen to watch this from last week?
Yeah,
Braden?
Pretty vicious. This was heartbreaking for me. Von's my guy. So seeing Bron just destroy him here was very concerning, and I hope sending my wishes out to Von Wagner, but I hope he's resting up and shining up a table with Bron's name on it. In fact, it's got to lead to some sort of big comeback for him. I'm hoping.
I would think. I mean, he's the biggest babyface on the show now. I'd say
after
this whole weird Robert Stone thing. But it's what I kind of mean. What I said about in the last segment. It's this storytelling. It feels like this was the end game for a while, because we've had this story with Von's head,
right?
For, and Robert Stone and trying to get him to open up for quite a while. And it led to this vicious attack where people do kind of care about Von now. I think it's been pretty successful.
And we care about his head.
Yeah. Well, we did get a medical update from Vic Joseph, who says he was diagnosed with a minor skull fracture. Luckily, Von was able to move slightly at the last moment, which kind of saved him.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on the fan cam.
Yeah. But, yeah. Wow, who'd have thought it? Bron Breakker didn't actually throw down 150-pound steps on this man's head. Whoa. Is wrestling fake, guys? Oh my god!
I can't stand when people do that stuff.
Okay, he didn't actually crush his head with steel steps. No, really? Wow. They say that because of his history with his head and his brain, A timetable is yet to be determined. I would say whether or not he had history with his head or
We
not.
don't need to know deep.
It's like
he's hurt.
He's hurt. Yeah, he had heavy steps dropped on his head.
You don't need to tell me what room number he's in or anything. Just he's hurt. It's fine. You know, I'm loving Roderick Strong's neck injury with the neck brace over on AEW, and Neck Strong, the T-shirt, might be the first AEW shirt in a long time I actually buy. But Vaughn's got to have Headstrong.
Headstrong, love it. So Baron Corbin comes out, and he comes out kind of all somber, and he's like kind of gonna be serious for a while. He says, normally I come out and you guys don't like me, and I don't like you, and we get it, but tonight is different. 7 days ago, I sat right there and I saw something so vicious that the TV trucks had to cut to black. I saw Bron Breakker crush Von's skull with steel steps. Now, I don't like Von, and I won't pretend that I do, but Von's condition is very real, and Bron knew that and took advantage. He'll never be the same again. Bron, I know you're back there, so come out. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Corbin called Bron Von and Von Bron a few times. I don't blame him. It's kind of confusing. So Bron Breakker comes out, and Corbin says, hey, that's far enough. Stay there. I just want to say, you know, what you did last week, I don't know how to put it into words, but what you did last week was freaking awesome, man.
And then they're best friends.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty funny swerve, because Corbin was like, I know we hate each other, but
I knew right away.
Like a man was hurt last week.
I knew right away that
So
was where it
good.
was going.
Bron kind of like woos and is like, yeah, man. And
I did laugh at these two just like broing out for a little bit here until things got a bit serious.
Corbin's like, I was like, is he going to do it? You had the steps up. Oh, he's not going to do it. Is he?
And then I did it.
And then you did it. Oh, it was awesome, man. And Bron just says, that was so cool, right? You idiot. Like, whoa. And he goes, you think I did what I did last week to impress you? I did what I did last week because Von put me through a table, so I ended his career. And I didn't just like it, I loved it. Corbin says, look, I was here to be nice and offer to pay your fine because I liked what you did, but I see you don't want that. You're so angry. You're meaner than evil. You ended Von's career. Well, congratulations. Well, why don't you try ending Olympic gold medalist's career at WrestleMania? Why don't you try ending another gold medalist's career before it even started? You know, I stood toe-to-toe with The Undertaker at MSG. I beat Roman Reigns. And Bron interrupts him and just says, look, I don't need to know any of that. I don't want that. And there's only one thing to do. Me v you at No Mercy. And Bron says, over the next 3 weeks, call your family and friends and loved ones because you'll leave the building that night the same way Von Wagner did last week. And Baron says, look, kid, you have a lot to learn. One, I'm not Von. Slaps him across the face. Bron slaps him back. And then they both start trading punches until all the jobber cops run in and pull them apart. So we're getting Bron Breakker versus Baron Corbin at No Mercy.
So Bron's going to end his career.
I think they're both getting tabled.
By Von?
Yeah.
Von comes back.
I see this being a double DQ.
Sure.
Von,
It's the only
and
way.
we'll be happy.
It's the only way I'll be happy through this angle. Yeah.
As long as we get a cool spear in there as well. Did you like Bron's new shirt?
Yeah, I was about to mention his shirt. Shout out unofficial NXT shirts. You know we're always on the watch for these throughout history of NXT. And here was one. Bron, I guess he's mocking Von, how he had them.
Yeah.
Because it's the same like style, white on black, even though that's basic. But this one said, best spear in the biz.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that right now?
I do.
I think he's got the best one.
I think it's up there with, you know, Goldberg's like original run.
Roman can have a few good ones once in a while in big matches. There's definitely been some big spears. Makes it look good. He's a big dude. Braun definitely makes it like, I don't know, out of nowhere kind of thing.
He's been doing kind of the Randy Orton sort of thing, which is like, where can I hit this out of without when you're not expecting it?
Yeah, like Goldberg obviously I think did have some of the best ones. Just fucking murdered people.
Yeah.
But I do think right now it's someone in the chat. Ryan says Edge's spear. As much as I love Edge,
is one of the worst.
no, I think Edge actually has. He's had. I mean, the best spear of all time. Yeah, by Edge, WrestleMania 17. But he doesn't have the best one.
It's more of a cuddle, isn't it?
His is running at you. Rhino with the gore is good, but
for like smaller people, I do like Ricky Starks and Kairi Zane's because they're kind of explosive, but they don't have the muscle on them for it to really
Zane's spear.
No, it's cool. Like she sort of flies, but it's just like you're tiny, so it's not. We will do that show, Best Spear Ever, one day.
Best spear ever.
We'll just
play a whole clip.
Oh
and
yeah, it'll be
mark the best ones, and everyone. There's got to be a right way to do it.
Apparently, I think Stevie Richards. I was listening to Grapple. Has a YouTube channel where he just breaks down moves and things like that, and he's talking about Goldberg's spear, and it's like, yeah, it looks great, but he could like break his neck on like all of them. Like there's no protection at all with them.
Yeah, who's got the best spear? At us. Poisonrana.ca.
Ed, no, it's not Edge. Sorry, RYN. We go to our next match. Briggs, Jensen, and Myles Borne, who seems to be booted out of the Gulak Dempsey camp, and they're taking on Kemp and Dempsey. Sorry, Gulak and Dempsey with Damon Kemp.
Yeah, so Fallon basically invited Myles. She was like, "Hey, I know you know, seeing you getting kind of pushed, guys, join us and we'll have a 6-man tag." And Myles is like over the moon to be given this opportunity. So that's how this match took place. And I'm happy to see our boys again, Briggs and Jensen.
Yeah, I missed them. Briggs and Jensen take it to Kemp immediately. Borne tags in and delivers a net breaker to Dempsey. There's a gut wrench suplex from Dempsey. Both teams are doing really quick tags to each other. Jensen comes in with a spinning wheel kick to Kemp, which looked really nice, had some nice speed to it. And then it all breaks down, and they're all brawling on the outside. Henley kind of gets in the way, and Myles Borne catches her. They kind of share a look for a second. There's some romance going on. And then Borne sends Jensen, his teammate, into the ring post, rolls him into the ring, allowing Kemp to hit a big Uranagi. And then
he hits his own partner?
Yeah.
What is he, blind?
No.
I'm kidding.
And then so Gulak, Kemp, and Dempsey win, and Borne is celebrating with them after. So seems to be back with the faction.
Yeah, I kind of like this. I actually really like Myles Borne. From what I've seen, we've been following him since they kind of signed him and discussed his whole little story. I think he's awesome. And I actually this gives it a bit more interest than just team with the guys that you're not that character. You're not the like what Freebird, Southern dudes who likes their steaks, this and that. He fits in a bit. I don't know. I see him fitting in with Gulak. So I know they were treating him like shit the past few month. Really. Well,
it's kind of BCC light, isn't he? He's Wheeler Yuta, and he's going to earn his stripes, and they've been beating him up and throwing him around, but he is their young boy.
Yeah, and I think Myles gives me young Randy Orton vibes, so I'm for it, man. I actually really it was a tiny little thing on the show, but it could go a long way. So I'm interested to see where they go with this.
I thought this was one of many matches tonight where it was very quick, but you could see everyone working at a really high speed and intensity and getting a lot in. Like, this was only a couple of minutes, but I quite liked all the quick tags from both teams and the angle. And
I hope nothing's going on fishy with Fallon now, though.
I know
we've had a lot of romance issues with this group.
Well, Vic did say Fallon's soul just crumbled like Aaron Rodgers after the actions of Myles Borne.
CM Punk.
Yeah. So we'll see. I feel there's more to come with Fallon and Myles.
Yeah, I think they're gonna need well, now there's 4 of them in this, right? So they're gonna need another tag team to help them out, and maybe on the pre-show
it'll be
next week
it'll be Tank and Hank. That's
right, yeah. True, yeah.
We go to Chase U.
Chase U.
And Andre Chase, he's giving a bit of a lesson, a seminar, and says, "Hey, I want all of you to watch Becky versus Tiff tonight and take notes." And then Chase and Duke Hudson have a bit of a chat, and Chase says, "Look, I haven't heard from Thea at all. Can you look out for her?" And Duke gets on his phone and sees that Thea has turned off her location settings.
Oh,
guys, never have them on.
We were talking about
I don't understand this thing where come on, guys. A bit of privacy once in a while's okay.
So this is like that they were friends, or like the group chat had it on?
Yeah.
I know I don't have it with friends, but I'm in a relationship, and I kind of, it's helpful when you are in a relationship. And guys,
when you have trust issues.
Yeah,
stuff.
but guys, airplane mode. No, I'm kidding. But I did like that they tried to bring that into a storyline. Like, wait a second, she turned off her location setting. Like, it's some like heartbreaking like thing, because it wasn't just she blocked me, which I assumed where it was going. It was no, I can't see where she is. Yeah. Which is like they were so close that it's
more like I want to break from you right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Duke says, "Look, I tried. I don't know what got." Duke still is a little shady here and there. You never really know what Duke's agenda is.
Yeah, he's just walking around with that trophy, that MVP.
Well, we then cut to a bar where we see Thea Hail.
Was it a bar? Is she old enough to be in a bar?
I
don't know. I thought this was just backstage somewhere. Is it a mall?
Oh yeah, you're right.
She's not even 21.
She was just.
Not saying those NXT kids know how to
you're
party.
Right. No, it was kind of set up like it was a bar, but I don't. You might be right. I don't think it was a bar. It was under 21s.
Oh god.
And we see her turn off her location settings.
You see like she has it set off, and she's like kind of pondering, like, Duke.
She's with JC Jane, and JC's like, oh, look over there, these guys are about to talk to us. And she's like, oh no, are they? And she, yep, look, they're coming. And two of the like PC talent.
Yeah, I think we saw them trying to stop Bron and Baron from
two
fighting
jobber
earlier.
cops come over off duty, and they ask how their weekend was, and Thea says, yeah, it was pretty good, it was my birthday, and they just laugh at her. And so, oh, you were allowed out past your bedtime? And JC, why do you want to hang out with these little girls? And then JC gives them a piece of their mind, and they just beat them up. Thea says she doesn't need permission to go out, and gets one of them in a Kimura, then kicks the other in the balls. And Thea then is like fed up, and she turns to JC, says, I don't want to look like this anymore. I don't want to be around anymore.
I don't want to be around anymore. She had to chase you like crest on her vest or whatever. So she's still wearing their clothes, but she's doing what the mistake for kids. You wore uniforms as a kid.
Yeah.
If you're doing a skip day, you bring a change of clothes so you don't stand out at the mall as a kid, the student.
So next week they're going shopping, and I'm sure, Thea's gonna don the black lipstick probably.
Yeah, in the middle of this this segment, our feed cut out for a second, and it was my favorite part of the whole segment. I don't like JC Jane's acting. I don't know if I'm on like the Thea thing. Something needed to happen in that story to go somewhere else. She's got to have her bad girl era, I guess, here, and bad influence. But the acting with all like the other dudes as well, I was just really like not.
I've come round on JC Jane.
Really?
Yeah, I think she owns this kind of mean girl character pretty well.
Sure.
And definitely like compared to like, you know, Cora Jade, who I just don't believe in that role at all.
Sure.
I think JC owns it. I think Gigi's been kind of struggling a bit since the split. I actually think JC's kind of shone a little bit more since Toxic Attraction.
I like Thea Hail, so actually the pairing could like do better for them. It could eventually lead into a feud when you know, checks out of it and realizes to me. It could. You think? I don't think she's going all the way Sith Lord. Like, I don't think she's going all the way to the dark side. She's dancing around with it.
Yeah, we need, like, she'll go back to chase you.
Yeah.
She has to graduate.
She'll need a ride home, and she'll put her location back. And save her.
Finds her drunk. Like,
well, she's yeah. I mean, this is like Uncle Buck or something. I don't know, like an '80s movie. Like, oh, you need a ride? You know, you can always call me. And then, like, I don't know. She's not in university anymore. She can't party like she used to.
Yeah. We go to our next match. Dana Brooke taking on Lyra Valkyria. Lyra handsprings out of a tilt-a-whirl head scissors from Dana and then kicks Dana out of the ring, following up with this nice-looking drop kick through the ropes. Lyra then climbs the turnbuckle but gets dragged off by Dana. Lyra delivers a series of kicks followed by an axe kick to the top of the head of Dana Brooke. Dana comes back with a Northern Light suplex and then goes for a handspring in the corner, but Lyra cartwheels out of the way, kicks Dana, and then hits her top rope splash for the win.
I really like Lyra Valkyria. I could see her being a pretty big deal, if not just a mainstay, a workhorse on the main roster, and got the look and everything. Really don't like her finish.
Me neither.
Just a splash. Where's the Falcon kick? You lost the feathers, which is probably a good thing, but you could have still kept the swift kick to the head. Instead, you do a splash when everyone does better splashes as a non-finish. It's sort of like a little nip. You really like her. Dana Brooke, I know, she doesn't have a lot of, I feel like nothing's really going on. She's brought back down here for reasons, and she's, I guess, going to help get her Jordan over, but it's just kind of whatever for me. I don't necessarily hate her as much as a lot of other people do, but I'm just kind of like, where do we go from
I thought this was the weakest match on the show. Yeah. I don't think any of Dana's offense looks impactful at all. I kind of thought this match brought the worst out of Lyra as well, who is someone I really like. I agree. I think she's very good, and I do see a championship run in NXT with her. But this wasn't great. After the match, Lyra offers her hand to Dana and they shake. But as Lyra turns away, Dana goes to attack her, but Kalani Jordan pulls her off. I also just don't believe this character with Dana.
Mean Dana?
Mean Dana. It's just so sanitized and forced and just I don't like it at
all. I'm usually a Dana Brooke supporter, but don't really care about this one. I can't find my Dana Brooke shirt. I think it's lost. I don't know.
We then get the announcement that we're getting the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament coming soon.
Yes. So a whole new tournament. I assume maybe coming after No Mercy. Yeah. Where we'll get some new people in this thing. I'm assuming we'll get some names that we've seen here or there kind of pop up.
Well, we know Lola Vice is going to be in it. And Kalani Jordan, I imagine, will be in it.
True. We do have a lot of injuries right now with that damn Blair Davenport half the roster.
Yeah,
she should be.
Well, they're all the last.
Yeah. Oh, true. Right.
So it's going to be like we saw some girls later that we haven't really seen before.
Fair. Yeah.
This was interesting.
Oh man.
Eddie Thorpe is being interviewed, and he's asked about what's going on with Dijak, and he goes, "Well, it's difficult to calm down when dealing with a snake like Dijak, and he can't pass me without using something extra." And then the screen behind him turns on. We see that Dijak is in Thorpe's meditation forest.
He's in the woods.
What we call it?
Sure, yeah. I like that.
There's, I think, real thunder and lightning going on in the background.
I don't know if there was lightning going on. There was a fire pit.
Yeah.
It's Eddie Thorpe's.
It was stormy in Orlando.
Yeah.
And Dijak's like, so this is where you come when you have a loss? Well, the spirits are guiding you the wrong way. Right now, I'm marking your territory. Pulled out a white belt.
He's not doing what I thought he was going to do.
No. And
I'm marking your territory. I know what I do.
Yeah. And he starts whipping a tree with his belt.
F this tree, bro, is basically what Dijak said.
Cut the tree down. Or something.
I thought he was pulling out a saw and that take maybe a little
use an axe and cut it down. But
he's way more manly.
He's whipping we've seen in the past where
we love his hi-yas.
Where it's like, oh, this is your car, this is your $500,000 car you love so much, and gets out a sledgehammer and smashes up. It's like,
this is your
tree?
Your dumb tree? Light it on fire. Piss on it.
He's whipping it with his belt and nothing's happening to it. He did bring back the hi-ya. Thino, please edit the video.
Yeah.
But I guess it was enough because Eddie was like, Mackenzie, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. I gotta go to my magical forest and save my tree.
Okay, so
also, can we just, sorry to interrupt, just get to the fact that there are multiple characters on this show with trees.
Because I keep thinking, I'm like, is that the same tree? The four roots and the whole thing? No, it's a different tree. The meditating tree. Now, I don't think the issue is that this guy loves trees or something. I'm surprised no one did this to CJ Parker when he was. But this guy loves trees. Okay, cool. But this guy's just yeah, you like that? You see that? And he's whipping. It's a fucking tree, dude. If you're pissing on his favorite tree, That's upsetting. That's really mean.
It's still they're trying to get the disrespect. Like this is
Yeah.
a sacred thing, something that means something to him and his ancestors and his heritage and all that. Like I get it, but
Such a
there was
strange
just a better
segment.
way, like cutting it down, setting it on fire,
Yeah.
doing something.
Spin on it.
Yeah.
Didn't even do that. You didn't even do that. I legit was like, there's no way he's gonna cut this tree down in this segment while Eddie Thorpe's watching this through a screen, but he didn't
Or even
do
like, carve Dijak into it.
Dijak and Thorpe forever with a heart. Exactly. We just listed all the better things they could have done, and instead he's like
Whipping it.
yeah, you like that?
I don't think leather beats wood.
And he's like, stop, please. You're hurting my tree. Just so weird. So I'm assuming these two are fighting at No Mercy. And
I would think so.
I think it'll be good. It's just so weird that they went this route. I think Dijak just needed to show up like at the tree. Maybe show up when Thorpe was there. I don't know. Just anything other than like whipping a tree and expecting this guy to be like, so butthurt about it. So,
Strap match?
he had a strap, right? That's what he chose, his belt, to whip a tree with his belt. Oh my god!
It's like I forgot my axe today.
Yeah,
so.
I think it would have been way better if the camera cuts to him and he's like, "Oh hey, didn't see you there," and he's already like halfway through it, and then just timber, and then you let it fall, and it's like so mean that he cut this. Like,
Is that his new slogan? Timber, bitch.
He's got really bad slogans, but he's funny on social media. But I don't know. This was so bizarre, and it reminded what's the old Botchamania Hulk Hogan, the Yapapa, and
Right.
he's just whipping this tree, and I don't understand really why, but I get it. The guy likes his tree and the whole thing, but I know this match will be good. I have some expectations for it, but just the way we're getting there is.
Dijak does deliver still in ring, absolutely.
Yeah, just this character is so
bizarre.
so hokey. Maybe I hate it so much that I love it. Rip the tree. It's still alive. The tree is still there.
It's just a little sore.
I'm always blanking on your name, but the dude who always hits us up with the locations for all the NXT, like, find this tree.
We see Dominic Mysterio backstage, who runs into Carmelo Hayes, and Dom basically says, look, you're copying me. Like, Dragon Lee and Mustafa Ali were after me, so I made them fight it out, and I'll face the winner. Well, Ilya and Wes are after you, so you made them fight it out. You're just doing what I do. And Mello says, look, nothing about you, Dom, is original. And Dom says, well, you said that this, the North American title, is the A championship. Well, now I am the A champion. Mello goes, yeah, when I say I'm the A champion, it means something a lot different than when it's coming from you. And Mello challenges him to a match next week, getting champion v champion, Dom v Mello.
He says, let me go talk to mommy. And he's like, yeah, go talk to mom. Yeah. And then it is confirmed later that it is next week. Non-title. Mello versus Dirty Dom.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Dom's probably winning this.
I was laughing when they announced this, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
It could definitely be pretty interesting.
Absolutely. We see Becky Lynch, big time Bex, returning to NXT. She's being interviewed and says, well, the plan is for me to add the NXT Women's Championship to my list of accomplishments. When I was here before, it was all about surviving. I was clawing to just get a crumb, and no one thought I'd be championship material. Now, 10 years later, and look at me. I'm ready, NXT champion. And that's when she's interrupted by Kiana James, who says, I don't want you here, and I don't want you as champion. And Becky says, well, I take that as an invitation for an ass whooping for when I become NXT champion. So this to me kind of tipped the main event a little bit, because we're already setting up a future opponent for Becky. But yeah, cool to see Becky back in NXT.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a two sides of a coin here for me. I'm sure it's a lot for a lot of fans, where it's like Becky's huge right now and has been. Her coming here instantly gets like more attention and some little bit of a dream match, really, for a character we've been watching for a while of Tiffany. So it is pretty cool to see. I am a big fan of Becky. I think she's one of the best women's wrestlers of like all time, full stop. Of just her run in WWE has just been so incredible.
I think in particular post-pregnancy, I think she's been
absolutely
awesome.
I talked on Poisonrana on Sunday about how much I loved Becky versus Trish in that cage match.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised that she was announced for this match, and then they set up this match. And I get it that she's coming in here and taking the spots from other people. Why did the main roster's stars need a developmental title? It is kind of like silly and all that, because Dom literally is champion. Dom kind of needs developmental, so that kind of works. Why does Becky need to be here? I think it just helps bring kind of eyes and attention.
Well, it's to help develop the other talent. It's so these women are working with good wrestlers like Becky Lynch, and we see it from the main event, what it brings out of Tiffany Stratton.
So I see like both sides of it. I'm like, you could be putting, but who would? I'm imagining. I don't want to jump ahead here, but I'm imagining that we see Becky at No Mercy as well, and that's kind of a big part of having this whole story in it.
The main roster integrations definitely helped NXT over the last few months when they've been doing it.
Yeah, I think it
like
brings
ratings
people
have
in.
definitely come up.
Never forget.
I'd be interested to see how it was this week.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see with Becky. I mean, like, sports are back. There's baseball, football going on, and all stuff. I don't think there was tonight. There's baseball tonight, but yeah, like Punk got beat by Dom a few times. So and then he left. So that's like the ratings of NXT have gone back up. So
I almost would have liked Becky to dive into it a bit more, but I liked how she brought up that her run in NXT wasn't great.
No, I remember her doing the Irish jig.
She did the Irish jig. She never really knew who she was, and I remember it being a little head scratching when she was called up with Sasha and Charlotte.
Yeah.
And Bailey was the actual one left behind, because everyone kind of thought it would be Bailey moving up and Becky staying down there. And then it was that, Charlotte turning on Charlotte, the Nia Jax breaking her face thing that kind of really propelled her
instantly
to this different stratosphere. But I did kind of like how she alluded to her time in NXT not really being the greatest. And we'll probably get to her pretty soon. What's next?
Yeah. Definitely.
She'll be coming up in 2014.
The green gear. Yeah.
We go to our NXT Global Heritage Cup Invitational match. These are kind of G1 style, 2 blocks, A block and B block. 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points for a loss, with a 12-minute time limit match. And we're starting off here with Tyler Bate taking on Axiom, 2 people who have some history from NXT UK. Tyler Bate representing the United Kingdom, Axiom representing Spain. Nice. 2 countries I've been to in the last 2.
There you go. Yeah, look at that. These two definitely know each other very well, especially from their time. Okay, and I'm always interested. I like either of these guys in matches against each other specifically.
The Metaphor are representing the Serengeti here.
The Serengeti? Where's Monty Brown? Yeah. Fuck. They have like safari
outfits.
He's got like blow up like animals and
blow
stuff.
Up elephants.
And they're just
he's doing the thing where you wear the inflatable so your legs are like the legs of the animal, and he's got fake legs dangling over the side. Metaphor are ridiculous, and I'm here for it.
Love it.
Be Detroit's favorite stable in wrestling.
I mean, why not? They're amazing. And I know we've been away. Aura Mensa's stepping up.
100%.
Was it last week or the week before? Just good.
There's some just nice kind of chain wrestling between the two, as you'd expect. Tyler Bate goes for the bop and bang, but Axiom scouts it, sends Bate to the outside, and hits his beautiful top rope moonsault to the floor. Back in the ring, Bate does the airplane spin. During commercial, we see that Axiom actually tweaks his knee. After the break, Axiom goes for an armbar, but Bate rolls it through and hits a rolling capo kick to the back of the head. Axiom then comes back with a PK to the chest and then delivers a Poisonrana. They're both fighting on the top, and Axiom, the Spaniard, delivers the Spanish fly off the top, but Bate kicks out. But as he kicks out, Axiom goes straight to the armbar, which Bate counters with a powerbomb, but this gets countered into a Rana. Bate rolls it through, goes to the Tyler Driver 97, but Axiom counters it again into a Rana, which sends Bate flying into the ropes, hitting his rebound lariat, and then finally connects with the Tyler Driver 97 for the win.
Yeah, some crazy spots here. Shout out to Poisonrana. We know we love always seeing that move. Looked fantastic. there's so many great like counters and counters of counters. Like I said earlier, they know each other so well, and it really showed here when one guy's going for something and then in midair it's countered, and before he can even land on his feet, the other guy's flipped out of that one or countered it and turned it into something else. Really like the kind of last few minutes of the match where they were just nonstop, like that triangle counter, the Spanish fly, and then the Tyler driver, which can't always look like the best intimidating finisher, but on Axiom, who sells everything like amazing, even looked good. So really got into it. This only critique is like these two could be doing this on like a main roster scale and given 20 minutes on a pay-per-view, blow people's minds, but in 12 minutes they still managed to really entertain me.
I think as we see with people like Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, it takes time.
Yeah.
They'll get there. It could be 5 years from now, but they'll get there. Cream rises to the top. I thought actually across the board on the show tonight, sometimes I feel a bit shortchanged with match lengths, but a lot of the matches were short this week, but I thought they fit in so much in the time given where I didn't really feel shortchanged. I thought it was a good competitive match, and kind of the sprint aspect kind of made it more entertaining.
Sure.
And I like they are like at least got the 12-minute time limit, so they are fighting against the clock, so trying to get all their shit in and trying to get the win quick. I really enjoyed this. So if you're keeping track with Group A, we've got Butch on 3 points, we got Tyler Bate on 2 points, Axiom on 1 point, and Charlie Dempsey on 0.
They are doing some of the matches on Level Up as well.
Yeah, which I think is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, so I believe it's Dempsey and Bate on Level Up. So there will be some other matches that you, if you're interested in checking out, you got to watch Level Up or listen to John Cena.
We go backstage to Butch. We've kind of got this room with all the Heritage Cup competitors.
Yeah,
in there just watching.
This is pretty funny. It's like an open common area where they have the screen playing. They could get a bigger TV for these.
They always could get a bigger TV.
Like, what the fuck,
It's
dude?
like the rolling ones you used to have at school, you know, on like
Bill Nye the Science
wet
Guy.
break when you just wheel in that like tiny TV that whole assembly hall watches.
Like, give them a fucking TV and let these guys actually watch it and study. But yeah, Butch here. You know, Pete Dunne's got a lot of history here in NXT. It's still funny that he still refers to himself as like and all that.
He says, everyone knows me and Tyler go way back. Well, we had the finals of the UK Championship in 2017 at NXT TakeOver Chicago. We had the match of the year, but I'm not here to reminisce. I'm here to prove that I'm the baddest man in WWE.
Baddest man.
And you know, next week is fight night. So
Fight night.
Bate Dunne 3
Next
week.
Dude.
It's probably like Bate Dunne 12 or something.
1200.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah, I loved their matches before the UK tournament, the specific takeover.
It was the Chicago one.
Oh man,
match of the year.
fucking awesome. So yeah, next week, take my money, please, because that should be pretty good. Does this mean that we're getting some sort of a final at pay-per-view? Right, it's Noam Dar.
Noam faces the winner at No Mercy.
Okay, so who do you got?
So let's wait to the next match, and then we can go through the block and see what's what. We go to Ava Raine and Joe Gacy looking at their tree.
Another tree on NXT. They clearly, you ever seen the movie The Wrestler when he's backstage and they're going over their match and he goes, "Okay, you're gonna work the leg, brother." And then you hear him over there go, "Whoa, we're working the leg." Okay, sorry, we're gonna have to work the arm. Yeah, they didn't do that for this episode where there's too many trees going on in this episode.
And this tree is dying. I wish we just had like Dijak
Dijak
in the background with his leather strap, just like watching on.
He's the reason this tree died.
He killed this tree.
He killed it, yeah. And he walks by, such a shame.
Casey says, Ava, your loyalty is comforting, but our tree is dying. It's withering away, and we stand alone, more isolated than ever before.
Jack did
Yeah.
Ava does say here right away, as when she replies to him, 4 roots turned to 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, putting things between the lines here, you would imagine that those 2 roots have gone.
So their contracts end October, right? I think was what the tweet said. So we're coming up to it. Whether that is the end of them now after that cage match with the Creeds, Whether we've got one last hurrah before then, who knows?
GYV.
GYV. I do, yeah. They seem pretty adamant they were going to go.
I know we're in the middle of this promo. Doesn't mean anything. I'm more interested in those two guys because there's another flip of a coin here is I would like to see them be given a chance in WWE as GYV. I think the act that they had before was an act that could definitely get over as two guys you just love to hate, but then deliver awesome tag team wrestling. Almost like the Revival, but they're British and one of them talks a lot. The other side is get the hell out of here, be happy, and do what all these other tag teams and all these other wrestlers have been doing the past 2, 3, 4 years. And wrestling, if that's what you really want to do, then do it because you guys could be champions in so many other places. Like what, smaller fish, big fish, smaller pond kind of thing?
Yeah, like I think, like whether it be Impact, who has a pretty good tag division actually. You've got the Rascals, you've got Motor City Machine Guns.
There's so much
you've got
these guys could
subculture over there.
So like as much as I do think they could be something in WWE, and I don't think this gimmick was that way of them going. I love the thing they had going before. So if that's the only way to see them as that act again, and it's leaving WWE, they will like just flourish because think again FTR versus GYV.
I was going to say AEW as well. I don't think their tag division as strong as it once was.
We need some British stars too, so let's go.
But I'm with you as well. I think having them as the art, we've seen how LA Knight's got over on the main roster based on his promo, and I think Gibson, his classic soon to be, all that stuff, shoes off for Gibson, all of that. Yeah, it's
money on the table.
It could work in WWE as well, given the opportunity, allowing them to, deliver on the mic, and they do back it up in ring as well.
So I just want to see them like do good wrestling, and if it's in WWE or if it's not, I will be following and watching them. I might even watch them if they show up in Impact. That's how much I actually think guys are bigger than what they were given here, and they. Like, good for them. They did it this long. We don't know. They could still be, coming back as GYV, and I would be happy for them either way. Yeah. That's what I got out of this promo. Instead of the Rock's daughter talking about a dying tree. Yeah. She was really saying, hey, we lost our friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We see Trick and Mello backstage. Mello looking nicely dressed up tonight. I think he's going back to, what was it called? Pizza Bar and Burgers or whatever in Detroit, where we saw him hanging out. Yeah. With multiple women.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. According to Too Cold. That's a throwback. Mello says, look, I always have your back. I got Dom next week. It's going to be champ v champ. And Trick says, well, Judgment Day are always there and always helping Dom win. So maybe, hit up your boy. Mello says, thank you, but I'm good. You said you wanted you to do your own thing, so I respect that, and I'm letting you. Trick's like, yeah, well, I didn't quite mean it like that. But, like, outside these walls, it's always going to be Trick Mello Gang. And as this is all going on, we see Wes Lee kind of clearing out his locker and throwing stuff in the bin and gets his suitcase and dips.
Yeah, like, you can see Mello's looking over and kind of seeing this, like, oh, man. He rips off his name tag of his cubby and throws it in the trash. Grabs his bag and takes his shit and leaves like Office Space. He just leaves. He quits.
Sore loser.
He's done.
He's done.
He's fucking done.
We go. I think there's definitely money in Trick and Mello being a unit on the main roster. Yeah. I think it works so well. Trick is his hype man and stuff. Do you see them going to a match at some point? Do you see there being a split?
As much as I think Dragunov should be champion, maybe it's Trick actually and him are together, and Trick helps him cheat to win to solidify Mello as a heel. I'm kind of over the babyface Mello. I think he needs to be the other way around, if that makes more sense. So that could be a way of going at it. He could straight up just lose, and then eventually, I don't want to see Mello and Trick eventually split. I think on the main roster they could.
I'd like to see them have maybe like Mello giving Trick a chance against him, like as a friendly match.
Yeah,
like a one they can shake hands after and whatever. But
sure, yeah.
I feel that this sort of soft split they're doing, but still having interactions each week. It's got to be leading to something.
Like, or Mello beats Dragunov and he's the one who goes up. Like, someone's gotta, we gotta get some people moving up. Like, vision, and then the Wes story as well. So there is some interesting things.
We go to our next match: the Creeds taking on Malik Blade and Edris Enofe.
Was kind of pissed at this crowd. I know the crowd were really loud for a lot of things, but Edris and Malik, like, they're fucking like regulars here. They've been wrestling and they're actually really good. And I was a little let down by the crowd's reaction, just none to these guys, which maybe they haven't been used properly in the last month or so. But like a few months ago, I think they were getting pretty good reactions.
Yep.
So
Booker hates them.
maybe that's it. Yeah.
He was like, why are these guys dressed like Prince? Why can't they be their own thing? Why are they dressed as Prince?
They're not.
And Vic's going, why do you give these guys such a hard time? And he doesn't really give an answer. I thought they were both dressed like Montez Ford. It's like Ford is doing the suit thing with Lashley now, but they had the round glasses going on.
King Tez used to wear the crown.
Yeah.
And Idris used to dress like a king as well, and a prince and stuff. Does he mean prince or a prince?
I don't know. I mean, Malik had some purple on him, I think, but
right.
Yeah.
Malik's not wearing the vest, right?
No. I really like the start of this match actually, because Malik's in the ring, and as soon as the bell goes, Enofe tags him, hitting him on the back. Malik hits a drop kick followed by a blockbuster, and Enofe goes right up to the top and hits the elbow drop.
Yeah,
as Blade just dives to the outside, going off camera.
Yeah, like first seconds of this match, and it was explosive. Like so much things going on, and if you blinked, you missed it. Like this, and then the tope, and then the splash.
And I've seen so many tag matches. I can't really recall a start like this, doing that like quick tag right off the bat to allow the double team right away. I thought it was really cool. This is when we see Garza and Umberto on the perch watching on with the ghost of Granddad
Grandpa?
Hector. Yeah,
that would be pretty sick if they get a
remember who you are is what it's been.
Get a lucha ghost.
Yeah,
that's what we need in NXT. I'm happy that these guys are still somewhat in the picture. Yeah.
There's a big lariat from Julius, and which Idris just lands on his head, taking this bump.
Look nasty.
The camera just randomly cuts to look at the ring skirt and completely misses a double team move from the Creed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure there.
There's then a standing moonsault and senton from Brutus, and then we see Stax and D'Angelo are watching backstage. There's another blockbuster from Blade, and Enofe gets a 2 count. Then Julius just hulks up, hits his suplexes, hits his like cartwheel Death Valley driver, and then hoists Blade up on his shoulder, allowing Brutus to hit the Brutus bomb off the top. It's like the Doomsday Brutus bomb. And the Creeds pin Malik Blade and Edris Enofe in another really quick sprint of a match, but that got a whole lot in there, and I thought it was highly entertaining.
I love both these teams. Obviously, super high on the Creeds. Julius Creed is not human with the suplexes and kip-ups and all these things. When he had that cage match the other week where he had one dude in ankle lock and then one-handed lifted up the other, I was like, what the hell, man? Like, you're just insane. And I keep wondering, why aren't the Creeds being like, what are they missing that is not like what's not needed on the main roster? What do they need to get to the next level? And then last week I saw Brutus wearing that gorilla shirt, and I went, is he still wearing that?
They're still geeks. And they're not. They don't have the charm of like a Kurt Angle when he's being the geek backstage, but he's very funny. And then goes into killer mode. They go into killer mode, but they're just their promos aren't great.
That's why I want them. I want them as silent killers with Bron as a unit of like this like varsity athletes throwback with the Steiner kind of relation there. Like, you don't need to be funny geeks anymore. I hated MSK when they were trying to be funny. When I'm loving Wes is like more serious, and maybe we're just not there yet with them. But I love this little. And
that's why I think maybe that's why they're still down here right now, because I think I'd love to see them mix it up in the tag division on the main roster.
They would have some killer matches.
But I do think there's still something missing before they're the complete package.
Well, I hope he never wears that gorilla shirt. but
he wore it to the ring.
He
loves it.
I'm surprised they're not.
He's worn a singlet like it as well.
Yeah, I cannot. I don't know why. It really just goes. I go take.
It's
that
that
off.
weird material as well. That
Just stop.
It's no burrito. Is it?
Yeah, exactly. Not everyone
Thank
can
you.
have my taste. I love Edris and Malik as well. I do still see somewhere in NXT they put on really explosive short matches for the time they get. They always shine. So would like to see them more. But yeah, where do the tag match at No Mercy? What is it? Is it a multi-tag match? Got Stacks and Tony versus Creeds versus
Nima and Price, because after the match, Price and Nima attack.
Booker loves them.
Attack Blade and Enofe, I think.
Yeah, Booker loves these guys, the bad guys, I guess.
So yeah, it could be a huge. I think maybe Creeds versus Stacks and D'Angelo is a bit more money, but they do like their multi-man matches on takeover.
Yeah.
Don't call them a takeovers.
Because I'd put Creeds in, especially with the run they've had. They should win the titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go backstage to the locker room where we see Becky Lynch getting ready for a match when Lyra Valkyria, fellow Irish lass, comes in and they hug. And Becky tells Lyra that you're making everyone at home proud. And Lyra tells her to go win because you're making everyone proud too. So everyone's proud in Ireland. But yeah, nice little moment. I'm sure they probably mixed it up before, like a lot.
I wonder, yeah, definitely.
So, cool. We then see Roxanne Perez, who's talking to some new women that I'm sure John Cena knows who they are, but I can't say I knew who these women were.
No, not too familiar.
But they're going to be competitors in the breakout tournament, and she's saying that the breakout tournament can be huge. She went on to win it. She became, a tag champion and the NXT Women's Champion all in the space of a year, and they're like, yeah, and you had a really competitive tournament. They're kind of listing her opponents. They talk about Kiana James, who she beat in the tournament last year, and they're talking about like Roxy calling Kiana out last week, and she's like, yeah, well, I'm just fed up of taking crap from people, so I'm calling them out on it. And this is when Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez come in and basically ask Roxanne, yo, why are you causing shit in the locker rooms? What's going on? And Roxanne calls Elektra Lola's mom, and they're like, well, look, if you're looking for attitude, we'll give it to her. And Lola gives her a warning that once she wins the women's breakout tournament, that she's coming for Roxanne Perez. Well, it's coming sooner than that because this match is announced for next week. Lola Vice versus Roxanne Perez.
Wow.
But also Lola being confirmed for this breakout tournament.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some announcements and videos. And
we normally get the lineup of all the competitors
Right.
come out, maybe at No Mercy.
then they're like dating intro videos.
Yeah.
Things. Hi, I'm from so.
Yeah, they're fun.
Kind of good. Yeah.
We go to our next Global Heritage Cup Invitational Tournament thing bracket match. It's Nathan Frazer, taking on Akira Tozawa, hot off his loss to Miz last night on Raw, where he took 3 skull-crushing finales.
3?
3. I mean, that's why he was made quick work of tonight, I think.
Damn. What was he thinking? Trying to wrestle in this tournament
I know.
Losing to The Miz.
Yeah. Nathan Frazer just showing off his speed right away, like how quick he runs these ropes.
I'm nervous when he's running those ropes now.
He could have broken his neck.
I know. That spot the other week was really scary.
He goes for a springboard, but Akira moves, so he rolls through. Tozawa goes for a spin kick, which gets ducked by Frazer, and Tozawa rolls him up for a 2, and then Tozawa hits this big flying knee to the jaw, and then goes for a missile dropkick off the top, and then hits a great-looking tope suicida to the outside. They're then fighting on the top, and Frazer hits his kind of Rollins-esque superplex into a twisting neck breaker to pick up the win in pretty quick fashion here.
Love Vic Joseph's call. Tozawa's got the power. And Booker was just like, oh. And Vic just said it again, and Booker had to get it in his time, didn't you?
It's like when you say a joke and you don't think they heard the joke, so you say it again. It's like, no, I heard it.
For what it was pretty fast. Tozawa is just like so good, and he's the job guy in WWE. So at this, he is still so really entertaining. Again, kind of similar as I said, like give him a little bit of time, and he'll definitely like show you what, even in a quick match like.
So, sticking with the tournament, we see Joe Coffey being interviewed. So, we've got Frazer and Coffee now both on 4 points, heading the B block, with Duke Hudson on 2 and Tozawa in last place on 0. And Coffee says, the only person standing in my way is Duke Hudson. Well, I'm going to smack him down and win Group B and move on to the final. And Duke says, well, you know what? I've been crunching the numbers, and if I win my match, it will be a 3-way tie, and I'll get the new nickname, The Spoiler. So potentially, we could have a triple threat to decide the winner of the B block?
Is that what we're going to go to?
I would think so. If you've got a 3-way tie, I'd imagine they'll do a triple threat match. Because we've got a couple of weeks till No Mercy. So I think it kind of makes sense that maybe you have that. And then what do you see the final being?
I wasn't sure, especially when Duke said, like, hey, I'm going to make it a triple threat, you flogs. Which I had to look what flogs mean. But then shout out to our listener Ethan Black, who sent me saying that it's clearly got to be Tyler Bate and Frazer would be.
I think so, because that's the story they've been building up. That we haven't really had the match. They both held the real or fake Heritage Cup.
Yeah,
at some
that's
point.
the match, right? Yeah.
So, and who do you see Noam's opponent being?
True. Maybe.
Well, we've done Frazer Noam a few times, haven't we?
Yeah. So I guess Bate is.
Bate and Noam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. We then see Mustafa Ali being interviewed, who's continuing his kind of sort of presidential campaign character he's doing. He says, don't undermine my win over Dragon Lee. There's nothing I did wrong. If you remember, he was fast counted by Dom to pick up the win in the #1 Contenders match. He says, there's nothing I did wrong, and I'm not responsible for Dom's actions. And Mackenzie kind of brings up that people were booing him last week when he was gloating about his win. And he says, look, they were booing Dom for being a crooked ref, and I just got caught up in the moment. I was just celebrating. I was happy to have won. But having my hand raised by that criminal wasn't good. And it made me realize I had to bring prestige back to the North American Championship. And this is when Dragon Lee comes in and asks, have you watched the match back? Yeah. And he goes, of course, I've watched it many times. And Dragon's like, well, like, you shouldn't have won that. It was a fast count. And he goes, well, look, I'm going to win it for all of NXT. And when I win, I'll give you the first title shot. Walks off. And Dragon Lee says, yeah, I'm not done with that. So Ali kind of feels like he's having this Make America Great gimmick without it being Make America Great.
Yeah, like the Obama stuff from
a bit deluded. And but yeah, do you see Ali beating Dom? It's kind of weird.
It's kind of backwards.
We've got two sort of heel versus heel matches on this show.
Yeah, I don't know who the crowds are going to be more behind Dom, but it's more fun to boo Dom. So it is kind I can't say I'm actually too interested in this right now. I think if Ali was against someone who's a more clean-cut babyface, I think it'd be a bit more interesting, actually. This kind of makes it weird. Heel versus heel is always not the best way to go about it. So it is a bit backwards. Or maybe it'll be a good match.
Yeah, I do see this title maybe going on Ali and going back to Ali and Dragon Lee. But yeah, the dynamic is just a little off right now.
Yeah.
We see Wes Lee backstage with his suitcase. He's walking away. His wife is there waiting for him.
Yeah.
Right. I hope it was his wife.
Yeah.
And he's asked, like, what's going on? And he goes, I'm done. Said if I lose, I'm going home, and that's what I'm doing. Kisses his wife, goes home. So Wesley's done, guys.
He
left. Can go back to Impact and join the Rascals.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm assuming this is an angle where eventually he comes back, and maybe Mello saw him and is like, yo, Mello. Mello says, Wes, there's more.
Brings him back.
Yeah, I don't know. Really don't know. But I think Wes has definitely stepped up, and not just like his wrestling is always incredible. His acting and everything. The serious Wes Lee is way more entertaining. So loving this and maybe seeing where this goes. Maybe he's done and he leaves and then he goes to the main roster.
Maybe.
Where does Wes Lee go? Let us know.
We see, as this is going on, we hear a bit of commotion and we see a redhead in a hoodie. We assume it's Gigi Dolan attacking Blair Davenport.
Gigi? I can't think of it. Becky's the only other.
It was Gigi.
Okay.
So next week we have Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice, Tyler Bate versus Butch, and Joe Coffey versus Duke Hudson in the tournament.
Excellent.
I'd main event with Bate and Butch, to be honest. Given their history and stuff.
Mello and Dom get the main event.
Oh, that's next week as well, of course.
Yeah, I think so.
Of course. And that takes us to this week's main event for the NXT Women's Championship. It's Tiffany Stratton defending the title against Becky Lynch.
Oh.
Yeah, big reaction for Becky here. And Becky kind of starting the match off by stealing some of Stratton's moves. She's sort of evading her with like the bridge escape and cartwheeling out of the way of moves, just like we see Tiffany do. And then Becky goes to the disarmer early, but Stratton escapes. Stratton comes back, delivering a forearm to the back of Becky, and then drops Becky on the top rope and hits a running hip attack, sending her to the outside. After the break, we see Lynch deliver a missile dropkick for a 2, goes for the disarmer again, but Stratton rolls her up for a 2 count. And then Stratton hits the lowdown.
Yes. She must be as big of a fan of
D'Lo
than as me. But yeah, this looked good.
Only a 2 count. She goes for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Becky scouts it. And they're fighting on the top rope. Stratton knocks Lynch off and hits the swanton. Beautiful looking swanton. Have we seen her hit this before?
I don't think so, but this looked beautiful. It was picture perfect. Like she's hitting all the retro attitude era moves here with the swanton, but it looks good.
Only a 2 count. Becky this time locks in the disarmer, but Stratton manages to make it to the the ropes, and picks up Becky with one arm, which Becky counters into a kind of Rana for a 2 count. There's then a hip attack from Tiffany, followed by a double stomp, like the cave-in.
Yeah, this was nasty from Tiff. As Becky was seated, she like runned at her and gave, like, think of Cameron Grimes, right to her face.
But only a 2 count. Stratton then goes to hit the manhandle slam on Becky, but it's blocked. So she then goes for the prettiest moonsault ever again, but as she's on the second rope, Becky jumps up and hits like an avalanche side Russian leg sweep.
Yeah, I know you love that.
They're then brawling on the outside. Tiffany clears the announce table and goes for a powerbomb, but Becky's kind of grabbing onto the plexiglass on the outside and kicks Stratton off, sending her onto the table, and Becky leaps off the barricade with a leg drop. I am the table.
I am the table.
Look, pretty painful, actually.
Oh, man, no give at all. The motherfucking table. I am the table.
She then rolls Tiffany into the ring and hits a top rope leg drop for a 2 count, and then locks in the disarmer, but Stratton makes it to the rope and then picks Becky up, one-armed, just dumping her onto the apron. She then hits a Liger bomb in the middle of the ring for a 2 count.
Very nice.
And then goes for the you can't escape shoulder senton roll into the prettiest moonsault ever. Becky moves, Tiff rolls through, but as she gets back to her feet, gets caught with the manhandle slam, and Becky Lynch pins Tiffany Stratton and wins the NXT Women's Championship.
Yes. Now all 4 horsewomen have been Grand Slam champions. Becky, the only one of them to not win this title. She's won everything else here. So, yeah, Becky's NXT Women's Champion. I actually really like this match.
Me too.
Becky's been good the past years. She's been having some of the best matches in the women's division that I've ever seen. I'm a really big Becky fan. But Tiffany brought it. Like, if Becky is the measuring stick here, was this some sort of test for Tiffany? Because I think Tiffany passed with flying colors because she was awesome and hit all her moves on point. Becky looked good. Tiffany looked good. The only complaint is really like giving them more time to make it even seem a bit more epic. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there, including the YouTube chat, all night have been going back and forth of how can Becky, how can the main roster star come down and take the developmental title and all that kind of stuff. But really, it will just bring more eyes and attention on NXT. But really got into this match. Becky is just such a pro and made Tiff look good, and Tiff made Becky look good. I really like them kind of doing each other's moves for a little bit there, and that table spot was cool. It didn't break, but it still looked maybe even more painful that it didn't. But yeah, really like this.
Yeah, me too. I thought they had a really good match, and Tiffany has impressed us quite a few times, but I think this was one of the best matches. She looked
For sure.
great, and Becky's so good to watch as well. I don't get too bent out of shape with the main roster stars winning it. It depends what they do with it. If it ends up elevating people, we want to see, this is developmental, and we want to see people improve. And like in a lot of sport, you only improve by working with better people.
Sure.
Working people on your level or below you doesn't help you. And I think if we're having a little run with Becky Lynch, who really after the Trish feud doesn't have much going on main roster right now.
Yeah.
So why not do a couple of months, 6 weeks or whatever here, and help elevate some of these women, have matches, defend weekly against different people, and it can go back on an NXT star after and make something for them. But I'm okay with this.
Like either way, Tiffany fought Becky Lynch tonight and had a match. She lost to her, but it had talking. I'm sure the ratings will somewhat get a boost, maybe with the star of Becky, the man, big time Bex. But I just run this match back at No Mercy.
Do you see any this getting defended on like Raw at all?
You
like
could.
We have seen Tiffany appear on Raw, like talking to Becky and stuff. We could get a rematch there to kind of see, test Tiffany. How are you with a bigger crowd or something like that?
Trish is done with Becky, right? After that cage
I think
match.
Trish is disappearing for a while.
I don't know, like, is this a way to get the title on Trish? Tiffany and Trish would work good together because they're kind of like...
Yeah, it's whether it's a bit like she just had Zoe Stark and now getting someone else in.
No, I'm not too bent out of shape about Becky winning. I'm a huge Becky fan. She finally got that one she never got when everyone else got that NXT women's title, so it is good for her. But I think it'll bring some attention, and she will be wrestling at NXT. Right away, I would just match this match and give them even more time.
I just hope I don't want to see this get dropped in a triple threat like they did with Charlotte, when at the title.
Oh, Charlotte, someone texted her and she went, "Wait, there's a title change? A women's title change?
Yeah.
I'll be there next week.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. I'm coming.
So
don't worry, Becky."
You can do like a screwy finish to screw Becky out of this eventually or whatever if you want to protect her, but I want to see her get pinned by someone.
Because you had Kiana tease, right? But I wouldn't necessarily put that.
No, I'd put that on TV. Like there's nothing next week, but maybe the week after you have Becky defend against Kiana James.
Screw it. I just want Tiff versus Becky at No Mercy, and I want Tiff to cheat and takes the title back.
Fine, absolutely.
Yeah, just to get a little interest in this match. Maybe that's why they did this.
Yeah.
But I think it did just that. It has a lot of people kind of talking, but the women delivered here, and Tiffany, we've been saying for a while, is up next. Pardon the pun, but she is going to be a huge star in WWE.
100%.
She's got the entire package, and even now she's got a great opponent. Hopefully they rematch this. I did really like this. Becky's been on a great run. When I think back of the women's division in WWE from the past 5 years, yes, Bianca has been awesome, but Becky also has just been such a big star and been loving her.
I think what I've enjoyed about a lot of these main roster people coming down is when we're watching the stuff from Was Next, NXT wasn't established at that point. So you had a main roster person come down and you get that feeling it's like, okay, I've got to do this show at full. I'm obligated to do this. Whereas I think there is such a respect for what NXT was and so many of our main roster huge stars now came through that system and respect it. So I think there is a bit of excitement, going there on a Tuesday to work on it. And Becky wasn't phoning it in at all, put on a really competitive match. And I think we've seen that a lot with a lot of the people that have come back down to NXT.
Yeah. No, I really loved this match. Really loved this episode of NXT. It was sandwiched with two great matches. I'd still say my match of the night, as much as I loved this women's title match, was the opening match with Wes and Dragunov, which was just chef's kiss.
I agree. I thought that
slapping the
was
hell
incredible.
out of each other.
But great main event, some really fun Heritage Cup matches as well. Again, I think NXT have been on quite the streak. I think Sean is very much in his groove with booking this show now, and I think it's been a very entertaining an easy show to watch week in, week out with some really good wrestling.
Yeah, there's still Degrassi High stuff that I'm like, oh, I could do without, but I have just accepted that's part of what it's developmental
wrestling.
Yeah, it's
to
like,
be honest,
it's
there's weird shit in all wrestling.
Yeah,
shows.
there is, and it's like I'm definitely like, oh, like WWE still does that, which I think I'm just over as, but NXT will never stop doing it because it's like the high school basically of wrestling, what this show is. But there's some really good matches and some good stuff that comes out of it, and it's always interesting to see, you know, how someone starts off and then eventually goes on to become a star, like we've seen in Becky Lynch, because I watched her when she was on NXT, and now I'm watching her come back as full big star. So it is pretty cool and full circle and all that. But I'm looking forward to No Mercy with some of the matches. Kind of, we're still weeks out here as it's on a Saturday, September 30th, and like we got Mello Dragunov 2, we got Braun and Corbin, we got Dirty Dom versus Ali, and we got Dar versus the winner of this whole tournament. So either way, it's already shaping up to be a pretty good LE. The first TKO WWE PLE.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the chat room is going insane about this Tiffany Becky thing going back and forth, but that's what we thought. You can check out the YouTube channel to see what they thought. There's some funny back and forth there, but let's see what the rest of you thought on our Facebook page with our feedback thread.
Yes, find us, Poisonrana on Facebook. It'll lead you to the Facebook group. Join, we'll let you in, and we post feedback threads every Tuesday here, and we let people post comments or questions and read them here. And I see a few here. Clearly, Becky brought in
a lot of feedback this week.
Yeah. Would you like me to start here?
Go for it.
Ethan Black, who writes in, really solid episode of NXT. Wes and Ilja was a banger. Bait and Axiom and the women's title match was great. And the 6-man tag was a wet fart. Frazer and Tozawa was disappointing. Bron and Corbin promo was good. I thought Dijak was going to piss on the tree, not whip it. Next week looks good. Yeah, I definitely thought he was going to pee on it.
We go to Manny from Pacoima, who says, what an opener. What a main event. Tiffany and Becky put on a great match. New era of the NXT women's division just continues to impress all the time. Looking forward to Butch versus Bait next week, as well as Bait versus Little Regal on NXT Level Up. No Mercy is looking good. Sean is making me want to take the drive to Bakersfield more and more.
Do it. Why not? As NXT, it's pretty cool to go there once. I've not been to there, but Bakersfield is where No Mercy is, right? Yeah, why not? But do it, Emmanuel. We go to Glenn, who says, I didn't watch, but I want to shout out Sino and B for killing things in your absence. That is very kind, Glenn. Thank you. I think the boys will very much appreciate that. Thank you.
Nas from NYC.
Whoa.
I really enjoyed... Hello, Nas.
Wow, long time.
I really enjoyed NXT tonight. First show I've watched him properly in about a year, and it was really good. Over-delivered for me. Tiffany Stratton has improved so much. Move Ilya up and add him to Imperium. I really hope I just had more time in the week to keep up with NXT.
I mean, there's so much wrestling. There's so much things going on, TV shows, movies, whatever. But NXT definitely has the stuff. That's a weird one, though. Dragunov in Imperium. Not really thought of that. I like them as a 3-piece.
I think so, yeah.
And plus, I just want to see them fight again.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Got to get that match of the year
fight
back.
Again, yeah. Claim their throne yet again. We go to Fire Frank, the BDE champion. He says, welcome back, Braden and Davie. Great week to come back as we had a hot one tonight. Highlights being Wes and Ilja having another banger, and Tiffany passing her first big test in a valiant losing effort to the man. Is it weird to say I'm proud of her? Dijak, hiya! Versus the tree in honorable mention of match of the night. As well as poor Tiffany versus the table. Axiom and Tyler was solid as well. Braun and Baron has set the Chris Leone match of the decade. Let's burn some ships. So looking forward to Hayes Dragunov 2, and No Mercy will not be diggity dog of a show. Will not be a diggity dog of a show. Gotcha.
We go to Magan, who says, I kept waiting for a non-finish to happen. The shock of a clean win hit me like an uncut cocaine. Tiffany Stratton got elevated in defeat, and Becky Lynch got to check off a bucket list goal. I can't speak for those Tiffany got buried naysayers crying foul that Becky has become Charlotte in this scenario. Dolts, the lot of them. Tiffany is still very young, and it's not the end of the world. She passed the test with flying colors. A strong, strong episode, bookended by this women's title match and Wes Dragunov bodying the opener. That match was so ill. Heritage Invitational keeps humming along, and next week, Dom is getting put on a t-shirt by him. Fun shit.
Nice.
Yeah. I like reading Magan's feet.
Yeah, you're better at that. Where's Jesse's, though? You know, I love reading Jesse's. But Nas hasn't written there for a while there.
Yeah.
So, yo, the Nas from NC. That's the Nas.
That's the Nas, yeah.
The rapper Nas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met him.
You met Nas, the rapper?
I met him at Cheap Shots.
I don't believe you. No, you did
Before
tell me
Grand
that.
Slam, yeah.
He's grinning right now whenever he is listening.
Yeah.
I need to meet him then. It's not in my gauntlet.
No, you got to collect.
I love collecting listener gauntlets out there.
You finally got Chris Elliott, didn't
Finally
you?
got Chris Elliott. I got a bunch from All In It, like some crazy ones.
Yeah.
Right? You know who you are. You find people who ever showed up. Everyone who wrote in feedback and joined us in the YouTube chat here tonight, thank you so much. If you're listening to this on a podcast app like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a nice little review. Go a very nice long way, and follow us on Poisonrana. Hit that subscribe on our own feed, because yes, we do so many other podcasts weekly, daily. There's so many shows to check out that we do. NXT is back, baby. We'll be back next Tuesday, right after it ends, to chat all about it on the road to No Mercy. We'll eventually do a show covering that as well. So looking forward to all the fun stuff in the world of wrestling. Sunday, Poisonrana, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back chatting about everything else, including Gunther and some Gable in there. Talk there. And yeah, that's about it.
That is it.
We've made it. The man has come around. Shout out Becky Lynch, and we'll be back. Follow us on all the socials at Poisonrana Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and check out all the stuff we post on there and that Facebook group as well. And yeah, I mentioned All In It. We shouted it out on Poisonrana this week, but anyone listening and supporting, man, we can't do this without you. And came back from vacation. We're a little, our pockets and wallets are a little bit emptier from that exchange rate, but we're still here and we're still podcasting about wrestling. So
yes.
Patreon.com/Poisonrana. It's only $5 to help support the BDE and keep our lights on. And I mean that literally, because our fridge light, like we
got to fix that. We got to fix a lot of things here.
We're dying, people. We're dying, kids, but we're still talking about NXT. So thank you very much for everyone who listens and supports. I myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
And when you're out and about later today, do like Dijak. Fuck that tree.
Fuck that tree.
Not literally.
Eh. Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking these things as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Poisonrana.